Hello. Sorry, I need to move this mic, it's a bit high. How are we all? What have you all been up to? Like, is everybody settled back in? We all back at work? Kids all back at school? What else have we got on? College, university? I don't know. Has normal service resumed? For me? No. Of course not. Don't be silly. My son was due to go back on last week. Yes, a week past on Monday. He'd been off a wee while unwell, as some of you may know. Don't know, I think I mentioned it on here, I can't remember. But because he'd been off for so long, he's not doing his prelims this year, so he got an extra 2 weeks off. I'm like, you need to put the lottery on. Like, get the lottery on now. ASAP. Only person I know that can be off sick for so long, finally go back to school. And they're like, take 2 weeks off. Don't worry about your prelims. What's prelims? Who needs them? He just probably done a wee dance for joy. So our normality doesn't fully go back until next week. We're applying for colleges just now. Anybody else doing that? Because you would have, if anybody's applying for uni, you would have done that, what, October, November, December time? College applications in Scotland anyway only opened to, well, most of them only opened today. I know at least one, maybe a few opened last week. So that's today's job. So he's applied for 2 so far. We're doing another 3 tonight, and then we'll see what happens. So it's just a waiting game after that, isn't it? I never done that, applying for additional study at the time. I don't know what that waiting feels like. I was out of there. Education, who needs education? And then you become an adult and start having kids and you're like, oh, maybe I should have carried on my education, eh? Maybe I should have done something a bit better in my life. Anyway, all is well now. We have a career, we have businesses, we have what we have. That was me pulling my, do you know that way your trousers slide down your legs? And the trousers I've got on just now are I was going to say very slidey, I'm not even saying it. Yes, so I was just fixing the legs of my trousers there. If you heard that noise, see if you never heard it, just ignore what I've just said the last 30 seconds. As you can see, Aileen is still Aileen. Have any of you heard all my new announcements recently? I've got 2 new podcasts coming out, do you all know that? I don't know why I do this to myself. Like, I don't have 30 seconds in a day spare. And then I add things into my business, I add 2 new podcasts, I just... Help, I need somebody. Somebody needs to tell Aileen to keep her mouth shut. Stop coming up with all these suggestions, Aileen. So yes, as of Monday the 20th of January, yes, there will also be Reboot Your Business podcast. As you can probably imagine, I've not even recorded it yet. I've literally set up the socials and I've set up the email. So yes, we're on that over the weekend. And then Saturday the 1st of February, you've got Gossip with Friends podcast with me and Danielle coming out. So the Monday one, the Reboot Your Business, will be out 7 a.m. every Monday. Then Gossip with Friends will be out every Saturday at 12 p.m. Yes, I'm sure that's right. It's written down a bit of paper somewhere. Everything's written in a bit of paper somewhere, but see if you were to see my desk, you'd be like, Aileen, how do you know where any bits of paper are? Now I know where everything is. It's unorganised chaos. Listen, everything's got its place and there's a place for everything. And I know where everything is. Usually, most of the time, sometimes, unless it's important and you need it there and then. That's when panic sets in. And then when you panic, you forget. So just don't panic. Listen, just go with the flow. Be like Aileen. Just chill out. This is very 70s themed, isn't it? Like zen, very zen, 60s, 70s, live your zen life. Definitely not, it's not my life. I'm still looking for a new house, by the way, in case anybody was wondering. I'm going to view one next week, and I'm on a list to view another. There's 6 people before me, so if any of these 6 people say they want it, I ain't even getting a viewing. But if all these 6 people say they don't want it, I'll get a viewing. My son's already got himself moved into whatever house, any house, whatever house we get. I've got one son who's already decided how he's decorating his room. And I don't mean as in wallpaper and things like that, I mean as in pictures, posters, that sort of thing. He knows exactly how his room's going to be laid out. I've got another son who's already planning on doing mobile mechanics from the driveway, garage, whatever. My car's first, apparently. It's only been waiting since October for him to fix it, but hey ho, we're still alive. Yeah, so the boys are already excited to move into a house that we've not got yet. I find this hilarious. I've not seen my sons this excited in a very long time. I mean, we're grateful for the house we've got, but we've outgrown it. We're very crammed. I mean, I work from home, as you know, so my living room is a living room, office, whatever. It's a bit of everything, a bit of this and a bit of that. Then they've got their rooms, but also we have a lot of problems with this house. Very, 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 very problematic house, which was supposed to have been fixed 10 years ago, almost 9.5 years ago, 10 years this summer, and it wasn't fixed properly, so all the issues have come back. Then they were supposed to fix it again 2-3 years ago. They haven't even been out to fix it. Listen, I'm just over this house. It's funny because when it was just me and my oldest, and we were looking for a home, this was the street I wanted, because it's such a nice street. It's dead quiet, you never get any bother, blah blah blah, and I've never felt at home in this house at all, ever. We were in homeless accommodation before this one, and I felt more at home in our homeless accommodation than I ever have in here, which is bizarre, because I knew that was never going to be my forever home, because you only get it for a certain length of time. You only get it until they find you somewhere else, a permanent accommodation. So I don't know what it was about that house that felt more homely, because it was very basic. There was nothing in it to make it feel at home. Like, everything was basic. Yeah, I don't know why. But anyway, it might be because it was our first home, just the two of us. I don't know. I'll never know the answer to that, I don't think. Then we moved in here, and I was excited because I got this house, or got this street, should I say. But I've never felt at home. It's weird. Weird how it's a bit like the be careful what you wish for, isn't it? Like, I wish so much that I got this street, and then I got it, and it wasn't all I thought it was going to be. But what did I want? What did I expect it to be? I don't know. I don't think I looked that far into it. I think it was just because it was a good area, a good street. You were right next to all your amenities. Like, they're only within 5-10 minute walk. If you were walking, a couple of minutes in the car. Knew the schools round about, knew the nursery round about. I kind of spent most of my teenage years in this area. So yeah, I think maybe that kind of swayed it a bit more for me. I don't know. Because some of the other areas weren't as great. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I mean, none of you are even asking me the question. I'm just talking to myself as usual. So anyway, we are on the hunt We have been hunting. We missed one house because I thought it was a good idea to wait till after Christmas to phone up about it. How daft was I? Somebody got in there before me. Because I thought, oh, everywhere's going to be shut for the 2 weeks. And clearly they weren't, because somebody managed to get in there. So anyhow, we never got that one, but that just means it wasn't meant to be. But there's always houses come up where we're looking for. So I'm just hoping soon we'll find the right one. I mean, this one we're going to see on Monday, I don't even know if it's going to be the right one. Pricing's not the best. Pricing's a bit on the higher scale than I would like. So unless there's anything done with the pricing, I won't be taking it. But also, this is going to sound daft, but it might be too big. Like, it's got the right number of rooms and blah blah blah, but I think the room, especially down the stairs, and maybe a bit big, I don't know, I'm just thinking about the whole bigger the rooms, the more it is to heat them and things like that. Listen, I'll know when I go and see it. So that's that. It's a waiting game just now. It's a hunting and waiting game. And as long as I get something in the next few months, I will be happy. So we're currently buying things for a house that we don't have yet. Which is what you do, isn't it? I done it before I even had my temporary accommodation. I was buying bits and pieces, like you buy plates and you buy cutlery and you buy whatever. So I've started buying all my packaging stuff, so all my stuff for packing everything away. And I've bought all stuff that I can reuse again later for other things, whether it be storage or whatever. Dish towels, tea towels, what do you call them? Do you call them dish towels? Do you call them tea towels? I call them whatever comes out my mouth. And I'm buying my son's new bed today, I think. This is going to be fun. We're in a 2-bedroom house. There's no space at the minute, and I'm buying a bed to keep in a box and put somewhere. I mean, it'll be in the living room. Everything else gets put in the living room. It's almost as if the living room's a spare room. Do you know anybody that's got a spare room or a cupboard and you throw everything in it until it piles up and it all falls on top of you? A bit like Monica for Friends. Remember, she's got that cupboard and nobody was ever allowed to go in it. And then who opened it? Was it Phoebe and Rachel? I can't remember, but somebody opened it. Oh no, it was Chandler, I think, and Joey, I don't know. Anyway, then they opened it and everything fell out, and it showed that she wasn't as tidy as which is made out she was. She was just throwing everything in that cupboard. Well, by the time I move, that's what my living room's got to look like, because everything will be in here. My sons just bring things in that they've got no space in their room for, and they're like, can you find somewhere for this? Wait there and I'll just build a cupboard. I will build another shelf somewhere. No bother. Leave it to me. Because know how mums, dads, grandas, whatever, we've just got magic wands and we can just and abracadabra something and find space, or that just fits in that wee spot there. It's quite funny. So yes, that is Aileen's January so far. But anyway, that's what I was going to say, right? So I told you, right, but I'm adding more stuff into the therapy business, but I may have to take a few things out the therapy business. Don't know. Not anything to do with me talking. That'll all still keep going. I might have to take some of my hands-on stuff off, but I don't know yet. I'm waiting for a couple of hospital appointments. At the minute they're staying in, and as long as I'm allowed to keep doing them, I'll keep doing them. As long as I'm able to keep doing them, I'll keep doing them. But I'm waiting for 2 hospital appointments, and we'll see if anybody's got any answers. I mean, I could still be waiting in 2 years' time for at least one of the appointments. I think one. Orthopaedics is normally quite quick. I'm sure I get that last appointment quite quick for them. But neurology, I'm sure it's... I mean, my doctor just said, it's a bit of a lengthy wait, and I thought, aren't they all? This is the joys of living in the UK and living with the NHS. For all, in one hand, the NHS is absolutely amazing and is a lifesaver. They do amazing work most of the time. Not all the time. We may have some stories about that later. Not today. But also, the people that are supposed to be managing it aren't managing it very well, and it's a bit of a disaster at the minute in other ways. So a lot of people are suspicious that it's going to become privatised. Will it? Won't it? Don't know. Not a politician. Don't have anybody that can tell me that answer. I mean, I do have my suspicions it might be. Is that going to make it better? Potentially. Is it going to affect some people that can't afford private healthcare? Absolutely. But it all depends on how they work it. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Aileen could be sitting here in 2 years' time still waiting for an appointment for neurology. So, if any of you are a neurologist within the Glasgow Central Glasgow and Clyde, I don't know what we're called these days. Depends what website you're on. Depends on how they name themselves. If you're in Glasgow Healthcare, NHS, and you work in neurology, you're a neurologist, you know somebody that works in neurology, you're a cleaner, and you talk to anybody in neurology, you're a ambulance paramedic, ambulance transport person, anything like that. Say if you even say hello to somebody in neurology, can you tell them, I need an appointment please, and can they hurry it up? I mean, my doctor only said on Monday, but that's not the point. I'm a very impatient person, and when it comes to your health, you don't really want to be waiting about, do you? Because you don't want to be thinking, is that what's wrong with me? I mean, the thing that it might be is not life-threatening, life-debilitating, not life-threatening. But anyway, that's that. Let's move on from that. So, Monday was that January Blues Monday, wasn't it? Blue Monday. As it's named, because you're right in the middle of January, you're in the middle of the month, and everybody starts to struggle with money. I think we spoke about this, didn't we? Did we speak about it before Christmas or after Christmas? I can't remember. So some people may have get paid earlier than usual at Christmas, because that's just the way how some works do it. My son get paid early. He was only days early though. So some people will have get paid early, which means they may have get paid before Christmas, which means they may have spent some of that money for Christmas just to buy some extras or whatever else, or maybe the Christmas dinner or whatever it might have been. Some of you might have still get paid on the same day, I don't know. But if you get paid before Christmas, you may still have a couple of weeks left to wait. And January is always the longest month of the year, because for some reason the money never ever stretches to payday in January. I mean, I suppose there may be times throughout the year where it doesn't always stretch, but January just always seems like the longest month, doesn't it? It never ends. Although I do feel as if this January's went in quite quick. I genuinely believe it has gone quite quick. But how are you feeling? And are you struggling? Are you struggling for money? Are you struggling to heat the house? Are you struggling to get food? Are you just struggling mentally, emotionally? Like, what's going on with everybody? Or are you absolutely fine? If you are struggling for money, gas, electricity, there are ways that you can potentially get help. There are people out there that can help, organisations. So if you do need any kind of help or support trying to find them, let me know. Send me a message, send me an email. We'll work together and see what we can get for you, see what help we can get. Obviously, if you're on benefits, then there's still ways you can message your coach or whoever it is within the benefits agency. But I don't know how long that takes. But places like social work, now I know a lot of people don't like the thought of asking social work for help, because everybody just thinks social work is only there to see the bad, take your children away, blah 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 blah. This is not the case. I remember my oldest was maybe 18 months, maybe less than that actually, and I had to go to social work because I worked for a bit of a, we'll say, dodgy firm at one point, and they didn't really go by the employment regulations and things like that, and didn't pay me what they should have paid me, and they stole my benefits. So when working tax credits still first came in was the year I had my son. So when I went back to work, your working tax credits, they get paid in with your wages, and they decided to keep them. They decided to keep my wages. They did just everything. They're just absolute vile company to work for. So yeah, I had to go to social work and get some help because I needed milk, I needed food, I needed nappies, things like that. And it was like a Friday and everywhere was shut and whatever. So they gave me like £25 or something like that. It wasn't like hundreds of pounds. They gave me like £25 to make sure I got stuff to do for the weekend. Then come the Monday, I had to go and see about, just get it sorted. It was a lot, and when you're dealing with it on your own, and you're sick and you've got different things going on in your life at the same time, it's not good and it's not easy, but you will come through it, and it is just a blip. And I know it doesn't feel like a blip at the minute, but it is just a blip in the moment. And there is ways of making your life better, and I understand if maybe you can't work and things like that, but there is still ways, even if you're not working, that you can make your life better, and we can work on that together. It's about, sometimes, a lot of the time, most of the time, it's about your mindset, how you're looking out, how you're looking in. But again, everything's fixable. Everything can be talked through if you feel comfortable to talk through it. There's many people out there that I'm sure will be willing to help you within your circle, but sometimes it's not easy to ask for help. But that's where we need to kind of get over ourselves a wee bit, because what's more important, you and your children freezing, starving, whatever, or you getting food? So if you went to ask for help, if you don't ask for help, you could potentially sit freezing cold, no electricity, starving, no drinks apart from your water in your tap, blah blah blah. Or ask for the help, ask for the support, go to, whether it be a friend, a family member, the local benefits agency, your social work department, whoever, and say, this is the situation I'm in, we're really feeling quite vulnerable, this is what we need, we just need help, we need support, can you help in any way? And then you may have your electricity back on, you might have your gas back on, you might be able to get food, blah blah blah, because you've also got food banks as well, and food banks are there for people who need them. What's the point in people donating food to a food bank for it to go out of date and get chucked in the bin because nobody's went and asked for food? So yeah, don't think that you're not entitled, or don't think that you're too good either, because there is people out there that may think, I'm not going to a food bank, or I'm not this. Sorry, but I'd rather go and beg for help, beg for food for my children, than let my children starve. Just let that kind of settle in your head a wee bit. What would you rather do? Watch your children starve, or go and say you're struggling a wee bit? You might only need to ask for it once. You might never need to ask again. You may need to go back in the future. What's the issue? All these organisations, all these charities, all these people that are there to help, are willing to help, are there for a reason. They're not there because they want to waste their time. They're not there because they want to waste other people's money or other people's food. just priorities. Make sure you've got your priorities right. Prioritise you, your children, your family, your home, whatever it may be. January blues don't just affect people financially, they also affect people mentally. There's a lot of chatter every year about, and you normally see it as a headline in the news, that a lot more people may end their marriages, walk away from long-term relationships after Christmas, because Christmas can be such a stressful thing, a stressful time for everybody. And it's not just about the buying the presents, it's about the cooking the Christmas dinner. Who are you still inviting? Say for example, you and your husband maybe see one set of relatives on one day and another set on the other day, or maybe you bring everybody together at the one time, I don't know. But maybe one person feels a bit ambushed than the other. Maybe toxic traits might show a bit more, and maybe people within families notice it. There's so much, and sometimes our eyes can just be opened a wee bit more. But if it's a first time thing where you've thought, I don't think I want to be in this marriage anymore, and it's literally just because of the hustle and bustle of Christmas, can you work on it? Do you want to walk away from, say for example, a 10, 15, 20 year marriage, even a 5-year marriage, 3-year marriage, because of the stress of Christmas? Or, so can you sit down and talk about it? Can you sit down and say, right, this is where I think we went wrong, this is how I think we should do it next time? Or do you walk away and maybe it has been building up, maybe it's been something that's been building up over the years, over the months, over the weeks, whatever it may be. Maybe it is more than just Christmas, but you've not realised it before. It's about reflecting, taking time to reflect and think about, why do I feel this way? Maybe it is toxicity. I don't know, I can't answer anybody's questions, but these are just different things to think about before you 100% make a decision. If it's to do with violence or drugs, drink, cheat, like maybe they've been cheating, then yeah, you have to do what is best for you, what's safest for you. But you will also have to work through that, because that will leave a lasting effect on you. So it'll be something that you will need to either talk to friends about to get it all off your chest, out your system, talk to a therapist about, talk to your GP about, work colleagues, whoever it may be, whoever you feel comfortable talking to. But again, it's going to be a process, so regardless whether you stay within the relationship or the marriage or you walk away, there's going to be the next step, there's going to be the next process. So you've decided to walk away. How do you do it? When do you do it? Where do you go from there? Can you afford to move out? Can they afford to move out and you ask them to move out? Or do you have a family member or a friend that maybe has a spare room that could put you up for a bit? Yes, have a good long think about it before you say something, because you need to protect yourself before you protect anybody else. Yourself and your children, if there's children involved. Because you've got to remember, say, if it is somebody who is a bit toxic that you're coming away from, or maybe has an addiction or a certain kind of personality, if you say that you're leaving before you're physically and mentally prepared to leave, they may just put you out in the street anyway and not care. So just protect yourself. Always protect yourself. Make sure you've got everything in place. Make sure you know what you're doing financially. Make sure you've got a roof over your head. Make sure you're going somewhere safe. There are, again, there's places, if it is to do with violence, there's, in the UK, the likes of Women's Aid, you'll have something similar everywhere in the world, I assume. And if it's a man leaving a violent relationship, because it does happen to men as well, there's plenty of places that you can go. But again, regardless of whether you are male or female leaving a certain type of relationship, if you're unsure where to go, or if you're unsure how to start the process, or if you need somebody to talk to, please contact myself. Initial consultations are absolutely free, and you don't have to take it any further. You can have the initial consultation, you can ask me questions, you can ask advice without, there's no bill going to be sent to you, don't worry about that. But yeah, make sure you've got everything nailed and that you're making the right decision as well, because is it something that can be fixed? Is it something that's going to be temporary, long term, permanent? These are all different questions that you're going to ask yourself throughout time, and if you decide it's permanent, move out, they might move on with their life before you, and then you might start feeling a certain way. Oh, I don't actually know if I don't want to be with them, and then they're going to think you only want to go back to them because they've met somebody else potentially. There's all these different emotions that you're going to have to deal with after a relationship. So just ensure that everything is exactly how you want it and the way you want it to be. It is hard walking away from relationships. Listen, my last relationship was probably one of my hardest to walk away from. But I'd done it for the right reasons, and it was the right decision to make. There was many reasons behind me leaving. I'm not going to go into that today. But there was many reasons, and for all, I've not dated since, by choice. I've told you many times, I felt as if I had to work on myself before I even considered it. I was never ready. Up until maybe a couple of years ago, I was never ready to date again. Now I'm open to it, but still not looking. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I got to work on myself, which was the most important thing, because I 100% lost myself, or part of myself, in that relationship. And it wasn't anybody's fault. I'm not throwing any blame at anybody here at all. I was putting that person's needs 100% before mine. And not to say that you don't do that with a partner, but it shouldn't be one way, which in this case it was. Which is unfortunate, because it wasn't a bad relationship in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways it was. So I just had to do what was right for me and do what was right for my boys, and yeah, c'est la vie, as they say. Anybody get any good films to watch the now? My cousin phoned me last night. No, she never. Did she? When did I speak to her? I don't know. I think it was 2 nights ago. And I don't even think she phoned me. I think I phoned her. So I absolutely lied to you there. Sorry. Aileen's toxic trait. She's telling you that people are phoning her, and actually she's phoning them. No, what happened was, I noticed that she had followed one of my pages, but my page was broke. I had to put a support ticket thing in to get them to fix it, because it wasn't letting me follow anybody. It would let me follow it, and then straight away it would unfollow the page, and I'm like, oh my god, these people are just going to think that I'm following them, so that, and unfollowing them, following them, unfollowing them, so that they follow me back. And that wasn't the case. It was genuinely broke for days. I think it went on for about 2 or 3 days, and I was like, no, put in a wee support report ticket, whatever it's called, and then it was fixed within a few hours. So I phoned her and I was like, I'm not ignoring you, I know you followed me, I'll follow you back when it gets fixed. But she's like, okay, whatever. And we were talking about like different films and things like that, and she was like, oh, text all the films that you've just said for me to watch. And I was like, I can't remember half the ones I just said to you, no bother. So I texted a couple and then forgot the rest, and then remembered one the next morning, texted her and I went, oh, I forgot to tell you that one, which was the very first thing I told her to watch. Then I still forgot the rest. I don't even know what I told her to watch. But what was she watch? She was watching, I can't even remember what she said she was watching. But I was saying about how sometimes you're so desperate to watch something because you love it or you love the people that are in it, but you don't want to watch it because it's the very last whatever episode of a series, or the very last in a trilogy, or however it may be. So like, I'm waiting to watch Venom, the last Venom. Is it The Last Dance? Is that what it's called? I'm sure it's called The Last Dance. Now, I love Tom Hardy in that. I love Venom. I just love Venom. It's probably one of my favourite films of recent years. So we were supposed to go and see it in the cinema. Then we didn't go because my son was unwell. We've covered that process. So now it's on Sky. We're going to watch it on Sky in the house. But see, try to get my two boys to sit down and watch something. Well, we all want to watch it, but normally when we're sitting down and watch something, it's because they've decided they want to watch something. So we're watching some series just now called What We Do in the Shadows, which is very freaking weird. If anybody's watched it, you will know what I mean by that. It is a comedy. It's a vampire comedy, but it is bloody weird. I swear to God. It's like, I feel as if the further in you get, the less weird it feels, because you just get that used to the weirdness. So we're on season 3 at the minute. We've watched the movie. There's a movie and there's a... Sorry, I just got interrupted by a phone call from one of the scam artists. They were trying to say I've been in a car crash that I've not been in. One of the ones. So where was I? Yeah, so there's the movie, and then there's it's a programme, whatever you want to call it. So there's 6 seasons in that. So we're on season 3. Can't remember what episode we're on that. Now it feels normal, but it's definitely not normal. It's still not normal. So it's vampires, but it's not a normal vampire programme. Watch it. You'll know what I mean. So I've got everybody to watch this, because my theory is, if I've had to endure this, so do you. So it started because my youngest, it was part of his media classwork in 3rd year or whatever, so when he was about 14ish, 15, 14. So it was his teacher that introduced him to it. So then he introduced his big brother to it, and then they two thought it would be dead funny to make me watch it. And I mean make, because it's not something I would have chose to watch. It is good. Listen, I'm giving it a bad name here. It is good and it is quite funny, but it is very bloody weird at the same time. So anyway, we went for a meeting up at the school the other day just to try and get a few things put in place. And the teacher says, is there anything else you would like to ask? I went, yes, I have a grievance. His face just fell, God love him. He's jobbing his pants. If you know, you know. And he went, alright, what? I think that's What We Do in the Shadows. You've made him watch it, and now he's getting me watching it, and he just burst out laughing. Then he gave him another list of stuff to make me watch, and I was like, do you not get the part of I have a grievance? I do not condone this. Do not make me watch all the shenanigans. Anyhow, it's quite funny. So, and that's his favourite teacher, so whatever he says goes, apparently. So yes, What We Do in the Shadows. And then we were talking about stand-up comedians, so I gave her a couple of stand-up comedians. Kevin Hart, I'm sorry, but Kevin Hart, I love him. Love him. So I said to her to watch Kevin Hart, Tom Segura, who my son introduced me to, my oldest son introduced me to, as in his podcast. And then he went to go and see him live. So we've watched a couple of his live stand-ups on Netflix as well, and then Matt Rife as well. Quite like him. I'm trying to think who else. I like Daniel Sloth. Sloth? Sure, it's Daniel Sloth. Sloth. I don't know. Daniel, and then his second name begins with a slaw. I'm sure if you just type that in, the rest will come up. I do follow him on social media, but I don't know. Who else do I like? Jimmy Carr. Jimmy Carr's freaking hilarious. And I never used to like Ricky Gervais, but I'm warming to him now. What else? Who else? I can't think now. I just love comedy. I love most comedians. I love comedy. I just think laughter is the best medicine for anything, but you've got to have a sense of humour to be able to laugh. And sometimes you've got to be in the right mind frame, like mindset, because listen, we all need a good cry sometimes as well. Listen, you men need that too. Don't you be telling me, oh no, I don't cry. We all need a good cry. So sometimes watching a sad movie, and if I want to cry, it'll be like something like Top Gun, Beaches. Listen, I've been watching Top Gun for 30 years, however old it is. I've been watching Top Gun, and I watch it a good few times a year. Many times a year I watch Top Gun, and I still cry when Goose dies. See, if you don't cry when Goose dies, you're heartless. Heartless. I don't care how many times you've watched it. If you do not cry when Goose dies, you are heartless. And then Beaches, when our pal dies, and when the two of them fall out as well, and oh my god, so sad. It's a sad situation. I've been told by my son I have to stop singing on here, so you know what that means. The more he tells me to stop, the more I'm going to do it. But you're lucky, we're 43 minutes and 46 seconds in, and that's me only sang once. So what else? I'm trying to think. Oh, Boys in the Hood. Do you watch Boys in the Hood? So I've been watching Boys in the Hood for about 30 years as well, and I still cry every time you hear that gunshot. Every time, you know. If you know, you know. If you've never watched Boys in the Hood, go and watch it. I remember the first time I watched Titanic. I was pregnant with my oldest, and my dad couldn't stop laughing at me because I was bawling my eyes out. Raging. Can't help it if I'm a hormonal mess. I'm just a mess these days, but that's a different story. I'm trying to think what else makes me cry. What films? My son says I've got a select few films I always watch, and he gets dead annoyed with me because I always watch Pretty Woman, Grease, Beaches, Boys in the Hood. What was the other one he said? Dirty Dancing. I'm sure there was something else, can't remember. He says, can you not watch something else for a change? When I'm in a certain mood, so depending on my mood will depend on whether I'll watch something new or something old where I know it will help with that mood. So if I need to cry, I know what film I need to watch to cry. If I need to laugh, I know what I need to watch to make me laugh, and it's usually a stand-up comedy. If I need a wee bit of something that I've never seen before, I'll watch something new. So my brain knows what I need. Don't be telling me that I can't be watching films for the 80s anymore just because. It's not how this game works. But yes, I don't know anymore. I'm I'm kind of rolling with it at the minute because, as I said, I don't know what's going on these days with me, my body. yesterday. So I get really bad fatigue sometimes. It can last kind of a week to 10 days. Sometimes it only lasts a couple of days. Yesterday was a really, really bad day. And I slept from 2:30 to about 5:30 in the afternoon. Then went to my bed, I think about 9. And that was me again, right through to this morning. I'm not so bad today. Still a wee bit tired, but definitely not as bad as I was yesterday. Yesterday, it's where you would have thought I was on drugs yesterday. And not the kind that your doctor gives you. Well, probably your doctor probably gives them to somebody, but my head was falling, my eyes were rolling. It wasn't good. I felt, I just didn't feel right at all. So anyway, had a sleep in the afternoon. That made me feel worse, which it normally does. I think I've told you that before. If I go for a sleep during the day, I tend to feel worse after it. Then had a kind of semi-early night, but I had to wake up. I say wait up for my son coming in. I didn't actually, because I fell asleep, as I've just said. And then I heard him coming into the living room, and I was like, alright. That's how we greet each other in this house. We go, alright. So yeah, he came in, and then I was like, I'm about to sleep again. Catch you later. I went back to sleep. So I'm hoping that is that wee situation gone for at least a few days, few weeks, few whatever, till it comes back again. But yeah, this next few days I will be planning, studying. I've got a wee bit of this and a wee bit of that to do. I don't even know what I'm doing. Listen, we've got college applications to do like after dinner tonight. Then we've got, what have I got on tonight? This goes up tonight at 7. So tonight it'll just be college applications. Then tomorrow it's planning all these different podcasts and getting things ready for it. And I've got some studying to do. I need to look into a few things health-wise. I'm just going with it at the minute. Looking for houses. Every day you type in the same search, don't you? You're like constant. When you know there's one thing that you want and you're just typing, and you think at one point it's going to change into like that search, whatever that comes up is going to say, ta-da! First one I've done today. There we go, you've got exactly what you want. Now go and make that phone call or send that email. I don't know. So I'm just going to put it out there that if anybody does want any kind of counselling or coaching, whether it be life coaching, wellness coaching, business coaching, you can contact myself. So you can either contact me on the podcast pages or email, which is rebootyourthoughts@gmail.com, or you can get me on the business profiles, which is the Reboot Sanctuary, and email for that is therebootssanctuary@gmail.com. Like I said, there is going to be a few things added into that next week. Nothing's getting taken away yet, but depending on my outcome at hospital appointments and things like that, the hands-on stuff might be getting taken away eventually. I'm hoping that's a long time down the line, but the counselling and coaching will be there forever, because even if my hands and my feet and my whatever don't work, my mouth will still work. And that's what I say to everybody. That's my answer to everything. Now, listen, my mouth will always work. You'll never be able to get me to stop talking. Even when I've not got a voice, I still try and talk. So yeah, counselling, coaching will be there forever. It's just the hands-on therapies that are kind of maybe's aye, maybe's no. They'll be here for now, and we'll just need to see what the future brings. New podcast out on Monday, 7 a.m. So if you're interested in anything to do with business, if you are starting a business, in business, working management, thinking about starting a business, maybe even if you're looking to start up a charity, something like that, it could still be useful because you're still trying to make money, you're still doing all the same concept, it's just tweaked a bit differently and worded and named differently. So yeah, you've got all that if anybody would like to. If you want to know what I'm bringing into the business from a business perspective, listen in on Monday at 7am. Anything that's not going to be business related that's going to be added into the business, I will let you know on here if it's going to be beneficial to you. But yeah, I think that's kind of it for today. I don't want to, because I know that this is kind of Blue Monday week, the middle of January, the one where everybody's feeling, they're just not feeling it at the minute. They're feeling a bit maybe down, or they're feeling a bit lethargic, or they're feeling a bit whatever it may be. I don't want to get too heavy on you, so it was just more to remind everybody, if you need help or support, please ask for it. Don't feel as if you're burdening anybody. Don't feel as if you don't deserve it. Don't feel as if you're imposing, because you're not. The whole point of all of us being there for each other is so that we can help when we can. If it's more specific help you need, where you might have to go to an organisation or whatever else, or you maybe need to speak to somebody more professional, my messages are opened if you need me to point you in the right direction, or if you would like to speak to me. If you are considering coming away from a relationship but you're not 100% sure yet and you want to talk it over, take your time to do that and make sure it's somebody that you trust, whether it be your friend, your family, your boss, myself, your GP, might be a midwife, a health visitor, something like that. Just make sure you speak to somebody, because most things can be fixed in relationships. Not everything. I get that not everything can be necessarily fixed, because yes, there's some things that you maybe not everybody can forgive or forget, and that's your choice. So let's just, everybody stop judging each other. Everybody be mindful of what somebody may be going through. Even if you don't know they're going through something, please be mindful that you don't know what's going on behind closed doors or in somebody's head. All look out for each other. That's the most important thing. Like, stop just thinking that we know that somebody's got a perfect life in your eyes, because they may have the most horrendous life behind closed doors. Stop thinking that somebody's beneath you, because they might have a heart of gold that is willing to help the world. So yes, let's all just stop the negativity, please. I beg of you. That was my dramatic moment. That was me. That was my Oscar winning moment. That's as good as you're getting. In January anyway, when Aileen's like, what day is it? What year is it? What month is it? Is it nearly summer? My bones are aching. I need sunshine. I've just remembered I never went and picked my prescription up. How many times do I do this? Every month. So I put a prescription. In fact, I was meant to pick it up yesterday. Oh, God. So I put a prescription in on Monday. So the last few days I've been really badly fatigued. Probably more a week or so. Rather than days. But anyway, I went to doctors on Monday morning at 9am. Never had a 9am appointment with my doctor before in my life, but anyway, 9am. Put my prescription at the chemist. They said they didn't have it. I said, alright, I'll come back and get it tomorrow, which was yesterday. But I went back down to that shop later that day, but I thought it was the next day. This is how tired I've been. So I went to go and ask for it, and then as I was standing in the queue, I was like, I don't need to get that until tomorrow. So then I left the queue. Now I've just remembered that I've not picked it up. I think I was to pick it up today, but I was to pick it up yesterday. Oh my goodness me. And I do wonder sometimes, where's the vitamins? Get the vitamins and you get that brain working. So yes, I'm going to go. I need to start making food. I need to get this edited, and it will be up for 7 p.m. tonight, and I hope you's all listening on Monday. If you want to follow updates for the new podcast, you just need to follow the social media pages for that podcast, which is Reboot Your Business Podcast. And it's on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. I don't know why I have X or any of the other ones for the other pages, because I never post on them. I always forget. So I'm as well just telling you all just to follow TikTok, Facebook and Instagram for all pages, and we'll all be happy, because you'll at least get information. If you go to X and follow me, you're getting zero information from me, because I could probably count in one hand how many times I've actually posted on the pages. And it's not even a proper post most of the time, it's just a share from Instagram or something. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on. I'm going to go. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you are all just making the best of what is January. Talk to each other, be there for each other, look out for any changes in somebody that might need addressed, and stay safe, and I'll hopefully speak to you all soon. Bye bye.